Still no dice?
Not at all. And I've asked pretty much everyone in the court of Fontaine already. Lynette's ears drooped as soon as she heard that we'd have to be out and about for days on end. And Fremine, he hid himself under his helmet as soon as he realized there'd be people around that he didn't know.
What about Chiori and Charlotte? I feel like both of them would be more than up to it.
I've asked them already, but they're both pretty busy right now. I just gave the members of the Spina a few days off, too, so I don't want to bother them either.
This is getting...
Nadia, Clorinde, what's up?
Oh my. Well, if it isn't my dear partners. How are you all doing?
Huh. No.
Huh? Oh.
Yep, this is our chance.
Do you need our help with something?
Oh, precisely. My
Wolf!
Absolutely. We've already exhausted all our other options.
traveler, Paimon, would you join us and
Mara, she'll say what now?
It's a new game script by the Tabletop Troupe, a local roleplay adventure club.
Ever heard of the Tabletop Troupe? They put out games that allow you to participate in a story and roleplay characters with your friends. Oh, I've loved their stuff.
That sounds super interesting.
Clorinde and I are both veteran members of the club. Recently, someone came up with a new script and was looking for people to help playtest it for them. And when they asked, of course I couldn't refuse.
Generally speaking, scripts at that level of development have a lot of issues, but I think this one is pretty solid. The author obviously put a lot of work into the story, and the world building is also quite credible.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! I know I was the one that handed you the script, but some of us haven't read.
Anyway, the script calls for a team of 4.
So, you're saying you'll help us?
That's not a problem.
Well, Traveler, what do you think? Wanna play? Paimon will
Well, that solves...
Woohoo! I'll go grab
the script manager.
The club introduced a completely new kind of gameplay for the script. In this iteration, the Game Master's version of the script is incomplete. The script manager provides the next part of the script. On top of that, in order to increase player immersion, the club has created some of the story's sets and scenes in real life. We'll only know where we should go once the script manager reveals the starting location.
Wow, you're right.
And it's got a real healthy amount of suspense, right?
I look forward to experiencing it.
Why don't you go meet up with you?
Sounds good.
You say that.
I just hope you'll pick up some useful skills this time. Oh, and stop trying to persuade every animal you come across. Sorry to keep you waiting.
You're back! Huh? And you've got...
What a pleasant surprise.
Linny, Farina! Paimon didn't know you were playing too.
I'm more of a casual member, if anything. I haven't taken part in many formal club activities. Lynette, Fremine, and I play something similar at the Hotel Bouffe Tété sometimes, but I'm usually the GM. Still, I'm sure it'll be fun being a player for the first...
Well, I'm not a member of the club at all. Clorinde simply woke me up first thing this morning, said there was a good script worth experiencing, and
If you're interested, I can give you a referral.
I think I'll wait to see.
Do you participate in a lot of tabletop troupe?
You could say that. She's...
Right.
Wow. Paimon's so used to seeing you be all upstanding and intimidating as the champion duelist. It's kind of hard to imagine you role-playing with a bunch of friends.
Surely you jest. I maintain a clear boundary between my professional but in my...
Well, you say that, but for all the time I've known you...
I was...
Is that so?
So you want...
I'm back! Here, Allow me to introduce you to the script manager, Mr. Florian.
Pleasure to meet you all.
Hello. Wait, are you a champion duelist too?
Oh, no. This is just the costume provided by the club. I occasionally play a few of the roles in my scripts.
That sounds like a lot of work.
It's nothing. It's the least we can do to give the players a more immersive experience. Anyway, allow me to give you a brief introduction of the script. This script was adapted from the real history of the Marashose Hunters. You all will play the role of hunters from a bygone era and resolve a series of events unfolding in the capital.
Paimon's not super familiar with the history of the Marashose Hunters. Is that a problem?
Oh, no problem at all. I can give you a brief rundown. So, basically, Marashose Hunters were people who dedicated themselves to hunting monsters and protecting the city by using a special swordsmanship technique passed down over generations. Their story can be traced back to the ancient Remurian dynasty, as well as the first hunter, Cassiodor. But I'll leave the finer details for you to seek out
And I'll provide additional commentary as the story progresses.
In that case, brave hunters.
Whoa, just one sentence.
Aha, I see many a determined gaze before me. Very well, head over to this location and be...
So, as we follow the story, it leads us to specific scene.
It's the... Please check all your belongings, everyone. And make sure you haven't forgotten anything.
Sounds good.
Whoa, they really have thought of everything. Even the Fatometer is here and ready to go for us.
The Fatometer.
It's a card that's used to determine action success or failure. We'll need to use it when we try to use certain skills.
And what about all the dessert and tea?
That's what the message said.
Really? That's so nice.
Those snacks have Paimon's name written up.
I think you might be more of a snack hunter than a Marashose hunter.
Snack Hunter Paimon reported for duty. If there are delicious snacks to be found,
The desserts are great.
Very fair. First, please pick up the blank character cards in front of you and write down your name and profession. You can find an abbreviated version of the rules printed on the back of your character card. In this story, everyone is a Marashose hunter. To reflect this, the club has prepared a small badge for everyone.
ooh, nice.
As hunters, you have proficiency in swordsmanship and fighting by default, so there's no need to allocate any additional skill points to those areas.
Swordsmanship? So there's a fighting part to all of this?
Why don't you share a character card then? The Traveler will be the Marashose hunter, and you...
Kinda like.
So, for the name, do I fill it out with the name of my character?
Yep. It can be any name.
You can use your real name too if you want. I do.
Oh, so it would be like
In that case, I think I'll...
Next up is the skill sheet. You have a limited amount of skill points that you can use to learn a number of skills. The more points you invest in a particular skill, the easier it will be to pass associated checks.
I'll take persuasion and investigation.
Oh, those skills sound like they'd be useful for gathering intelligence.
So, should we also take those skills then?
Not necessarily. Since we're working together as a... For example, I think I'll take stealth and sleight of hand. That will give us more options if we run into any situations we can't negotiate our way out.
Oh, interesting. amazing! Let me see. I'll take...
Well, that leaves us. What do you want to learn, Traveler? Oh, something that'll help you get a read on other people's thoughts. Sounds useful. Ha ha! Gotta say, this suits you. So what do you think? Are you sure you want to learn these 2 skills?
Let's see. Oh, looks like you each have enough points to choose one final skill.
You've all picked such
Why do I get the feeling she's getting ready to cause trouble?
For example, this one here. Summon. Doesn't it sound super
Oh, I saw that one just now as well. The description says, this skill can be used under certain circumstances to summon characters or creatures that fit the script's world-building rules.
The script's world-building rules, huh? But how are we supposed to know what a Marashose hunter can summon?
Oh, that's not for us to worry about, my friend. Just learn the skills that interest you. And
All right, you've convinced Paimon.
Well, now that everyone's more or less finished since 2 of our players are doing this for the first time, though, would you like to play on easy mode, or...
What's the difference between...
Well, in role-playing games, the story sometimes changes based on the decisions of the players and the results of the Fatometer. For example, if you fail a check, that means you cannot use the target skill in that scenario. A critical failure may even result in further negative consequences. If you choose to play in authentic mode, every time you elect to use a skill, you'll need to use the Fatometer to see whether you succeed or fail, and face any consequences that may... If you choose easy mode instead, every check will be successful by default, and you won't have to worry about luck playing a factor.
Given that I'd like to focus on the story,
Huh? Oh, come on. Don't worry. Never knowing what you...
I'd...
All right, then...
What about you, dear partner? How would you like to play?
Are you sure?
No need.
Honestly, I don't think Clorinde would make things too...
No
That wasn't super reassuring.
Well, anyway, enough talk.
Speaking of the story, why is the beginning scene...
Well, that's because a long time ago, back when human civilization was still in its infancy, powerful demons and evil sorcerers ruled over the land. Soon, a group of human rebels banded together. With their swords raised, they swore to brave the darkness, and in doing so, subdue each and every monster that sought their destruction. They became known as the Marashose Hunter. Sometime later, as a member of the Marashose Hunters, you receive a commission. Following the address provided on the message, you take a boat and arrive at this strange... As you inhale, you can taste the slightly salty air of the docks as you begin to survey your surroundings. There aren't many people in the vicinity, but you do take note of a few others who, like you, seem to be sizing up this place. Your eyes meet, and you realize these people are fellow Marashose hunters, likely led to this location after receiving the same commission as you.
You're all Marashose hunters too, right? Allow me to introduce myself. The name's Navia, monster hunter by trade and helpful neighborhood businesswoman on the side. What say you to traveling together?
Okay, count me in. My name is Linny. I've been wandering since I was little and picked up a few less than legal tricks along the way. I was adopted by a Marashose hunter and later chose to follow in his footsteps.
Is this where you...
Hey, you can do it, Farina.
Paimon is Paimon, a good friend and companion.
I've been studying the culinary arts since I was a child. That's wonderful. I'll be...
Well, if we're all here for the same commission,
You open your envelopes at the same time. The message to the honorable and trustworthy Marachose hunters. Our kingdom is currently facing a grave crisis. The lands outside the capital have been overtaken by monsters, and our people are being led astray by forces of wickedness. We beseech you, please help us resolve this crisis and return peace and stability to our home.
Huh. The layout of this city looks super familiar.
The scriptwriter must have used a real-world city as...
As experienced hunters, the layout of the city reminds you of places once traveled. You recall the sight of tree-lined streets and the gentle tranquility of days gone by. Yet, as you regard the city in front of you, it appears to be little more than an empty shell. Its hollow gates are open to you, beckoning you to come forth and bring salvation back to the town.
I carefully read every line of the letter and turn my attention to the signatures at the bottom. Who issued the...
You see a long string of unfamiliar names. It would seem that many of the residents of the city issued this commission together. They sensed that things were not right within the kingdom and sent a distress signal to the outside world.
In that case, why don't we take a walk around the city and see if we can learn anything from the local residents?
Oh, good idea.
You look up and see a tavern nearby. It appears to be open for the day.
Why don't we go check out that tavern? If the novels I've read are anything to go by, taverns are usually full of information.
As you approach the tavern, you find a plainly dressed woman standing nearby. She appears to be rather troubled about something.
Greetings, friend. Lovely weather we're having today, don't you think?
Oh, hello. I suppose you're right. The weather today is quite lovely. If only those monsters out there would stop causing trouble.
It seems like every character included in the script has a certain amount of useful information to offer. If we keep asking questions, we might be able to get some good leads.
Oh, come now. Don't be sad. Life...
I don't think that's the kind of question we're supposed to...
Nothing turns a frown upside...
You didn't even take cooking as one of your skill proficiency.
That's not necessary,
So you're someone who barely smiles, and... Hey! Did she just...
Clorinde must have broke character for a second.
This isn't getting us anywhere.
The results of insight checks aren't disclosed to the players, so I'll be the one consulting the fatometer. You recall all the lessons you've learned in your time. You notice that when she's quiet, she has an empty look in her eyes, as if her thoughts have drifted to a place far, far away. And when she speaks, she often subconsciously reaches out to touch the ring on her left hand. So you noticed. That's a little embarrassing. A horde of monsters suddenly appeared near the capital recently, so all the guards were dispatched to fight them.
Do you remember when those monsters appeared?
I'm not completely sure. All I know is that my husband was dispatched to fight them 3 days ago.
Do you know where he was sent?
It all happened so fast. When we said our goodbyes, he couldn't even tell me where they were sending him.
You have our thanks, friend. We'll find and defeat those monsters as soon as possible. We sincerely hope your husband will be able to return to your side soon.
Thank you.
Don't worry. We'll find him. We don't always get to choose what happens to us.
You bid farewell to the woman and continue your journey further into the city. As you venture further into the city, the streets appear largely empty. An elderly woman walks past. You see her shake her head as she puts away her wrinkled wallet. A nearby merchant folds his arms and gives you a disdainful look. You get the impression that he's someone who has long gotten used to the sight before him.
Although he doesn't seem very friendly, merchants are usually a good sort.
Pardon me, sir. I'd like to ask...
That depends. How much are you willing to pay?
How about this much?
What do you take?
Surely an onion can't be...
What do you know?
Whoa, what a nasty guy.
But he still might have information we need. Traveler, can you think of something? Sir, if you happen to be well informed and know a thing or two about what's going on, we'd appreciate it if you could share that information with us. After all, the sooner this problem gets resolved, the easier it will be for you to do your business.
Well, things are basically as you said, young lady. Those monsters are camped outside the city, and they've been destroying all our trade routes. We have limited reserves within the city, so if this continues...
Wait, you're saying no one has put a plan in place to distribute supplies or maintain order?
We could all starve, and those nobles in the palace wouldn't even break a sweat. Who knows? Maybe they've been in cahoots with the monsters all along.
That is concerning.
All right. That's all the information you need, right?
You know, if you smiled a little more, you'd definitely get...
Should we try to go somewhere with more people?
Oh, how about the city square? Follow me.
Before you lies the city's central square. You see a man with a slightly anxious look on his face, pacing back and forth, his head hanging low. He doesn't seem to notice your approach. Still immersed in his own thoughts, he shakes his head and lets out a long sigh.
This guy seems promising enough. Maybe Hello, sir. Is there...
Oh, wait, you're... Oh, dear goodness, you're...
You recognize us? Are you one of the people who wrote the commission letter?
Yes! Oh, I didn't expect you to actually come. Oh, what great news! The city is saved!
What happened here?
Alas, we once lived comfortable, carefree lives. This city used to be free of monsters. The first Marachose hunter, Casiodor, the Golden Hunter, he was the one who drove them back. However, monsters have once again surrounded the city. Perhaps the seal that kept them at bay has lost its power. Or perhaps an evil sorcerer has been meddling in our affairs. All I know for sure is that their return has stripped the city of any chance at peace.
Are there not enough soldiers to drive them out?
It's not a question of numbers. The guards simply have no idea how to deal with them. Most people my age have never even seen one of the monsters, much less been trained to fight against them. What's worse, many of us don't even know the history of the Marachose hunters anymore. When I was a child, though, My grandfather would tell me stories about how the Marashose hunters drove back the monsters. So, on the off chance that something might come of it, I decided to reach out to you. To be perfectly honest, I was starting to think all those stories were just tall tales. But now that I've seen you in person, I finally know that it was true!
Well, you can rest easy, friend. The righteous and formidable Marashose hunters are on the case.
The man is touched by your determination and resolve. His eyes begin to well with tears of relief.
Still, if we are going to hunt the monsters, we need to know where to find them. Can you give us any leads?
All I know is that the area outside the city is dangerous. I'm afraid I can't point you toward a specific location. Oh, although, if you leave the capital through the main gate and follow the road, you should run into a group of guards. They might know more about where to find the monsters.
I see. We'll go look for them then.
All right, be careful. Oh, and one last thing. The monsters outside the city are just part of the problem. There are evil sorcerers inside the city as well. So be on your guard. They're actively working